Okay, so before we split the X and Y test data, before we create a training data set for the machine, what we need to do is we need to first analyze, okay, analyze the data. What do you mean by that one? We have to check if the data is clean, meaning there are no null values. So how do we do that? All right. All we have to do now is let's create a code. Okay. Heart data. Okay. Which is this one. So heart data. Okay. Let's check if there is no null value. So is null and then sum. Okay. This checks the number of null values per column. Okay. And then let's just play this one. Oh, that's good. You would see there are no null values in our columns. Or there is zero, for example, in the cholesterol level, there are zero null values. So that's good. However, okay, say for example, there is you have some numbers here. For example, cholesterol has um, five null values. How do we clean the data? So to clean the data, you do something like this. Okay, clean the data. But this is a good data set because you have no values. But if you have downloaded if you have downloaded a data set that has some null values, you can clean the data by doing something like this. Okay, so heart data, we copy this one. Okay, and then dot drop NA. Okay, this one will drop all null values. Okay, and then all you have to do now is just put this now, for example, the clean heart data, and you're just going to use this variable for your training data set. Let's play this one, and then what we can do here is let's just view the data set again, the clean data set. Okay, so just copy this one, and then oops, press enter dot head. Okay, let me just delete this block of code and let's see. There we go. Okay, so we have a clean data. If you want, you could check the shape as well. There we go. Right, there we go. Okay, so you could just use this data. You could use this variable if you have some null values. But since my data set is clean, meaning I have zero null values, I could just delete this block of code. Okay. Now, the next step that we have to do, if you remember, if we open up here, all right, we want now, okay, we want our machine learning to analyze this data set and then to predict the target, meaning to predict if it's 0 or 1. If it's 0, we want the computer to know that if the target is 0, the person now does not have a heart disease. If it's 1, the person has a heart disease. Okay, so what do we have to do here? Let's create now a text. Okay, let's now split. Okay, let's now split the training and test data set. Let's create a code for our x is equal now to our heart data. Okay, I'll just type in the codes first. Heart data is equal now to, okay, dot drop columns. Okay, columns is equal to target access. Okay, access is equal to 1. So what does this mean? Okay, in our heart CSV data set, okay, we remove the target column because, okay, we remove or drop, okay, the target column, remove or drop because this is what we want our model or our machine model to predict. All right. Next, y is equal to, this is what Okay, this is what the computer should be able, computer slash machine, okay? So whenever I say machine slash model, should be able to predict, okay? Which is basically the target. Heart data, then dot, sorry, this would be target, all right? And let's just see, if I play this one, what I want to see if it was, let's just see, okay? Let's just see if our code was able to remove the column target. Right? So how do we do that? Same thing, we just do something like this. Okay? All we have to do is x dot shape. Okay, let me just delete this one. And there we go. Okay? If you would see, oh, a while ago, if you look at here, we had 14 columns, but because we dropped or removed the target column, we now have 13 columns. You could try to see something like this, x dot head, and let's see. There we go. It removed the target column. Okay. All right, so in the next lesson, we're going to now create a model or the brain of Frankenstein, which is very important in machine learning. All right, so I'll see you in the next lesson.